Hey everybody, it's Pal Drew again, and I want to thank you all for really checking out this channel and supporting it just by viewing it. I don't take any advertising, but I've noticed I've got a lot more views on each episode than I did on my other channel, which I'm still going to keep. But it seems like everybody likes to see what's in my spinner rack, and they like to, all the different books, the variety of books, diversity of publishers and such. So let's go after it. Listen to me. It's like a dork. Well, I'm sort of a dork. Well, Dynamo Joe. This was really ahead of the manga craze at the time. America, unless you lived in California or somewhere on the West Coast, you didn't get exposed to a lot of manga or anime. And they had, there were a lot of movies, and it was Battle of the Planets, which I actually saw, in the 70s. But it took a long time till it took off here in the States. Dynamo Joe is sort of a tribute to, Macross and some of the other similar type giant robot stories. Japanese had Ray Dean, also in Great Mazinger, and the other guy I can't remember. But those characters actually belong. They were in a 20-issue Marvel book that only lasted 20 issues called Shogun Warriors, and I liked that. It was fun. It wasn't profound, but it was fun. And similarly, this is, it's not profound. It's fun. This was supposed to be a 3-issue miniseries. You see, 2 through 3, well, the fact of the matter is, it lasted for 15 whole issues, which is awesome. And that design, I just love it. I love it. And it took a long time for us in the States to really embrace the anime style art. I think Joe Madureira on X-Men in the mid to late 90s, he's the one who really brought anime feel to everything in American comics. And Doug Rice created the character and designed it, and he co-wrote or wrote a lot of issues, but then other people came in and pitched in. But it's pretty cool. Let's check it out. And this is Doug Rice, and I'm ashamed to say I don't know what else he's done. I know he's done a lot of stuff, or maybe he just felt like dabbling in comics and he was doing something else. And I actually got to ink a commission over him of Doctor Strange, which was great. So here we go. Doug Rice, creator, penciler. John Ostrander, that's right. He would do the script, and then had 2 inkers. Willie Schubert, letterer. I worked with Willie Schubert on my DC stuff. Rick Taylor, Rick Oliver. Never met them, but they really, First Comics was just a great indie company. They're always high quality, and I'm not just talking paper, or I'm not just talking art. I'm talking stories as a whole. I'll jump real quick to you have Grimjack, started by Tim Truman, and you had American Flag. You got Nexus and Badger, etc. John Sable Freelance. And what was great was they kept the line of titles relatively small, and that's where I think a lot of up and coming comics publishers screw up. They keep adding titles, adding them, and then it kind of spreads the talent thin. And also, if you're a fan of Marvel fans already have, whoever's a Marvel fan or DC fan, they already have 24 books that they get anyway. But, if you're a fan of a whole line of books and they expand too much, then you get put off. That happened at CrossGen. We had 4 titles starting off, then we eventually went to 7, and it got ridiculous. It was 17 titles, and at the time, Mark Alessi wanted them all to connect somehow, but thankfully, as time went on, he was too busy doing other administrative affairs, and but still the books had to come out. It was. I think that's what also hurt Crusher, but not ultimately. So these are Dynamo characters, not the one of them we're following called Dynamo Joe. The Dynamo class battle suits swarm to their transport ships, so they're getting ready for a battle. There's these alien invaders that are decimating a lot of the population on, I don't even know what planet this is on. It may just be a single ship, like a city, a star city or something. Well, and being that this was intended as a 3-issue miniseries, the first one introduced us to all the players, and this one is sort of like everybody getting ready for the final battle for issue 3. I like him smoking in a place where there's oxygen. It's like you would think that'd be outlawed. It's like, yeah, I'm breathing in recycled smoke, pal. Thank you. So, Whisper, another good book. And yeah, here you go. We got a handful of titles right there alongside my thumb. I think Valiant sort of did that too, like towards the end, like when they did Armorines and a lot of other titles I hadn't heard of. I think it was just kind of, it was just tricky. It's tricky to expand, but on the other hand, if you're trying to make more money as a business, you roll the dice. So here we go. I know some of you still can't believe that these giant metal nightmares are actually inhabited by billions of amoeba-sized beings linked together by a subspace bond, but maybe you don't believe they can be really dangerous. So that pretty much tells us who we're dealing with. And there's just a lot of setup, it's a suicide run. Well, don't have a lot of choice, but I love the detail. Wow, this is great stuff. And I like the figures and the characters. They're pretty interesting. I like them a lot. I don't have the first issue or the third issue or the 4th through the 15th, but I may start checking it out because I really enjoyed this issue. But like I said, a lot of it is just setup. More beautiful backgrounds here. Doug Rice is just he's just accomplishing so much. He's doing big space opera, but keeping it simple enough that, you're not stuck in all the old science fiction tropes of explaining things and having alternate names for, guys' eyeballs or girls' eyeballs or something like that. Now, okay, enemy range, 1,000 clicks and closing. Prepare for hand-to-hand combat. So they go at it. Oh, and also in the Shogun Warriors, they also had pilots on the inside, and that was a Japanese trope too, because there's a lot going on there. It's like, how many levers can you push with just one person? Okay, got the sweet axe. There isn't, like I said, it's basically set up, but the artwork is gorgeous, and I love the design. I just love the design. So that was fun. Okay, now I was a huge Ghost Rider fan, and I said this before. In the 70s, motorcycle culture was huge because you had Easy Rider. You had all these stories where people going across the country on their bikes, and he was no stranger to it. This Ghost Rider guy, who was originally he was Johnny Blaze. He made a deal with the devil to help save his adopted father from cancer. But what happened was the next week, the stepfather, Crash Simpson, would give you an idea of what his fate is. He crashes and dies that away. So it's like, the devil, he don't play fair. So I love that Skull Cycle. So easy to draw as a kid. You could hide all the machinery behind it. And so I did a recreation of this cover, and it was like tremendous fun. Now here's the thing that bugs me though. He made a deal with Satan, and he got screwed, and he became, he still had his own mindset. He wasn't taken over by the demon Zarathos until like issue 40 or 50, and that was a slow build. But in the meantime, he was basically a superhero with a gimmick, Flaming Skull, which I think the Hell's Angels or somebody. I'm sure that Blazing Skull was not really frightfully original, because I think I've seen movies where that kind of stuff was like embroidered on the back of a jean jacket. So anyway, this one guy who was called a Challenger, and he put Johnny through all these paces. It turns out to be Satan, but why is he miscolored? He's yellow. He's like jaundiced, and he has these little green shoes. He looks like an elf there. So he keeps slapping. What's weird is, Johnny gets his powers back. Why? I don't know. And why is Satan surprised? So Wait a second. Blah, 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 blah. Well, excusing the cover, actually Ghost Rider used a flame cycle. That's a cool panel there. Frank Robbins, Vince Coletta. Let's see. And it's like all this stuff is going on, but it's just too weird that he would have a hard time against Satan. He made a deal. The best thing he could have done is, maybe play dirty and, take advantage of the devil and take something away that he found precious and was not able to get to for a variety of reasons. And the other thing, too, is about Ghost Rider. See, it's just weird. Like, my power is real. And Mister, you don't scare me anymore. But I'm like, dude, you were created by this Satan fella. And it's just, there's not only that, he got to keep his powers for all these years, after he said F you to the devil. But if you're a guy, let's you and I sit this through, okay? If you're a guy and you lose a guy who's been like a father to you all your life, and then you get a pentagram and you start praying for Satan and Satan shows up, well, how come Johnny Blaze turned into a goody-goody? Why would he not, I don't see a lot of, I can't imagine a lot of people who would go pray to Satan for something to happen to really change their, outlook on life. I mean, I think he would be, he's just a superhero now at this point. And the horror element's kind of out of it. But, years later, Ghost Rider would be like the spirit of vengeance and, mete out really intense punishment on people. Intense, that's a stupid word, but it's just, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I won, but I'm still the Ghost Rider. And then it's just that he's so basically wholesome, and it's like if you're the devil worship and shit like that, what happened with that? Why wouldn't he, either call on Satan or just, you have to. It's kind of like a dirty trick, and then I don't know. I'm trying to explain a friggin' comic book 40 years ago. But speaking of which, Thriller by DC. At the time, I was collecting a collector's item, but I didn't really buy the collector's items. I just liked first issues of pretty much most everything because it was a sample to see if I wanted to get some more. And comics were much more affordable at the time. Adjusted for inflation, they were much more reasonable because I think today comics adjusted for inflation would be like $2.50. I'm not sure. Except this is a higher prestige format, so it'd probably be worth a little more. This is, it's written and co-created by Robert Loren Fleming, who did Ambush Bug with Keith Giffen, and Trevor Von Eden, who started off a very, very traditional superhero artist. And when I got this, it was so weird. And I'll be frank, I didn't like it at first because certain elements of the story, it looked like they were rushed. But you know what? I was just being narrow-minded. I mean, I look back on it and I look at that line work on that guy's hair and his shoulder, the clothes. That guy's great. Scabbard. These stupid ass, these cheap ass ads. That's so silly. He has a scabbard in his back. that's too bloody cool, as they would say in England. I love that. So much going on there. And when I bought it, it was a fast read, but I was just reading it like a regular comic. But looking back on it now, it's fantastic. It's just really, it's when Trevor Von Eaton kind of came into his own. He did a Batman annual that was really, really cool that the Comics Kayfabe guys covered. I love that. I love that. So much going on. So, I mean, Von Eaton, these faces are malleable. They're not necessarily 100% realistic. There's just a lot of, I don't know, style. A lot of really good style. I love that hair there. That kind of stuff. And I don't have the rest of the issues, so I really don't know what's going on. I never really did buy the book, but I bought this recently in a dollar bin. But I like it. I may get the rest of the series. It lasted about, 13 issues or so. Hold on. Excuse me, I hit the cough button. Okay, here we go. Babyface Bob Layton. I like how the bubbles go up through his name. Well, he and David McElhaney breathed new life into Iron Man with issue 115, but Layton didn't get the ink until their second issue, 116. So, the Hulk versus Iron Man. In the past, it's sort of been a one-sided fight. The penciler is Jerry Bingham, who did it for like a year or so, and then John Romita Jr. came back into the fold. So they're trying to help out Bruce Banner. I can't imagine how many hours, millions of dollars, and manpower over the whole Marvel Universe has been used to try and stop the Hulk. I mean, he really is a drain on society. So he turns to the Hulk, and they have a good old scrap. I really like that. Okay, you want to fight? Oh, here we go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay, Hulk, you want to fight? Then fight me. And he takes out the deck, which collapses him. But you know what? In all fairness, I'm trying to be a wise ass. When we deal with comics, superhero comics especially, the laws of physics get a little fuzzy. Like, chances are, like, he would have busted through that. I mean, he weighs, 1,000 pounds or half a ton, as it, same thing. He would have shattered through that. He wouldn't have jumped on it because that's not pavement. So it's like Iron Man loosens it, but it really should have happened anyway. But love that. Blah, 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 blah. I really like the combination. Ooh, I didn't really care for Mallow Cups. But there goes this little St. Louis tribute crashing with the Hulk. He just keeps throwing everything at him. Grabs a jet. That's my favorite, not that Learjet. So he's dazed from the explosion of being like right on a jet that explodes. So Iron Man puts all his energy, concentrates it into his fist, and takes him out. And as an Iron Man fan, I was like, yes. This makes up for all the old issues where he was crawling around, holding his heart and stuff like that. But he fused all circuits. So, but so great. I was so thrilled about this because he was fighting really wussy characters in the 70s, like, Raga, Son of Fire, and some other whole bunch of turkeys. Secret Origins, Batman Special, Brian Nolan cover. But we get a Neil Gaiman writer, and which is great because he didn't do a lot of mainstream comics at the time. Mike Hoffman, who I don't know, but Kevin Nolan is the inker, so you might as well just say Kevin Nolan did the art because he penciled as well as ink. But anything Nolan touched became a Nolan page, and that's not a bad thing because he's one of the few people that most artists feel honored having inked, because having him inked, because he's the guy. I'm jumping ahead, sorry about that. Jumping ahead, and then we get to here we go. Alan Grant's story. Sam Keith is doing the art. Albert D. Guzman, I knew him too. Good guy. I loved his work. That artwork is so wild by Sam Keith. It really looks like, it reminds me of Where the Wild Things Are, the children's book. I think that had to have some kind of influence on him. And I was like, all his characters look like they smell bad. It's just, they're just kind of, even Batman there. Nice stuff. And then When is the Door? The Secret Origin of the Riddler. This is by Bernie. It says BEM89, but it's written by Gaiman. Bernie Moreau, if I got his name right, he's a French-Canadian guy. Inks by Matt Wagner, and colors by Joe Matt, who passed away recently. Joe Matt did a bunch of... He did autobiographical comic called Peep Show that lasted for years. Bernie's stuff's really different, and I don't think he's done a lot of mainstream stuff. I mean, he has his own book called The Jam. And it's just a really great like pop art style, but then it's not as simple as a pop art style. There's more to it. Then we get to, I think this is Pat Broderick. I don't know. Okay. They always try to be so friggin' clever with the credits. So, really cool stuff. Yeah, it's got to be Broderick. Oh well, I don't know where it is, but I definitely know my artist. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I know it took a little longer than usual. Not really. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and please tell, shout it from the mountaintops that about this channel. I'm really enjoying the hundreds of people that are checking this out. It's like a quick time capsule of these really cool comics, and I hope to turn you on to some more of them, because there's just such a vast array of fantastic comics over the last several decades. But these are kind of like gems I pulled out that some people may not have been aware of, and these are all like really affordable. So it's not I'm not going to put something up here that's going to break the bank. So you might find you'll probably find them at your local comic shop in the back issues or online. That's about it. I said I was going to leave, but I didn't leave yet. Talk to you later.